So Aries, your week commencing the 9th of February forecast on the screen, your event chart, and your ruler Mars is in an exact square with the moon in Scorpio at midnight as we come into the new week. So there may be times this week when you do feel a bit on edge, particularly if you feel that someone's trying to limit you from going for a long-term hope that you feel quite inspired or excited about. And maybe that points towards a close relationship. And because on Monday, Venus, the relator, which is just at the end of the sign of Aquarius, very friendly, very open to different types of connections, is in a square with Uranus in your second house. It may even be about money, where you're just not connecting to someone in the way that you would like. So if there's some intense energy, some friction, someone's being a bit more assertive in a way that you weren't expecting, that maybe is something that can put you on the back foot. But also on Tuesday, Venus moves into your 12th house. So if there's any relationship in your world that you haven't been enjoying, Venus moving here could be a time of deep reflection about what to do. Now, I must be honest, for some Aries people, it could be when a relationship comes to a close. But it will only be if things have been really bumping along the bottom and if someone truly isn't right for you. I don't want you to feel that the planets can make that happen. It will only be because you choose that to happen, because you're not really enjoying the situation. And Uranus at the end of the day likes a little bit of freedom, so it may even be that you want to be free to spend money as you want, and the partner may have a different view, and that could be what a potential quarrel could be about. But there is an opportunity this week actually to tune in to your deeper reflective self, because although you're very much an action person, can take the initiative, can be bold, and actually show a lot of courage in situations, I feel over the last couple of years, as Saturn has been in your 12th house, all but for that brief period last year, it hasn't actually been that easy. There may have been some big strands that have been coming to a close. And what you've been asked to do is to work on understanding the more psychological parts of your nature, your frailties, your vulnerabilities, but being okay with it. You know, we all have them. And unfortunately we tend to judge them because society deems that we should be in some ways invincible, and of course the reality is none of us is. But as the week goes on, that tension between what you want from your future and what you may be able to afford to do, the second house energy of Uranus, or because you can't quite align around your values with certain people that you'd like to, that's still playing out, but then Saturn returns to your sign on Saturday. And, you know, it is a massive event. Just because it happened last year doesn't mean to say it's going to be something that you can just shrug off this year. And particularly if you have got planets right at the early part of the sign of Aries. So if you're someone who's born around the spring equinox, you're going to feel this energy almost straight away. So what's the significance? Well, over the next couple of years, Saturn's going to ask you to simplify your life. Because you're someone who needs excitement and buzz, and you want to be inspired by things that really switch you on, Saturn could at times feel quite inhibiting, and it may also feel that your physical vitality is lower too. But it's just asking you to be much shrewder about where you put your time and energy, but also who you spend your time and energy with. So it's asking you to be more disciplined, essentially. And if there are certain lifestyle choices, my legendary appreciation of anything sugary late at night would be a classic example. Well, Saturn in the first house, very much about the body, or the first zodiac sign, is asking you to perhaps be a bit more conscientious and virtuous about what you eat and drink, but also just narrow your focus. But the Aquarius energy, which has been so strong recently, has perhaps been inspiring you with some new exciting plans. Perhaps the square between the Sun and Uranus at the end of this week is the reality that not all of those perhaps are cost effective. Maybe there are some catches. Maybe there's a part of you that wants to go for things very quickly and circumstances don't allow. And I think it is important to understand that even with Saturn arriving back in your sign, your connections to others can provide a great deal of moral support. They're important, but I also feel that you're going to become much more attuned to the quality of your connections rather than the quantity, and that will become very much the case as we go deeper into this week. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundel.com. We've got so much deep content to share with you. I do feel that some of the big astrology portals are rather generic. Ours comes very much from the heart. There's a sole purpose to what me, my wife and our team do, and I feel that really shows up in a powerful way. So please join us at patrickarundel.com.